Good morning, everyone. So yesterday we discussed about the one of the important examples like equals method, equal ignore case, and we identify the some of the other methods here. Okay. So today we'll discuss about the remaining method which are available inside this particular string class. So if we observe carefully how we can compare with the start and end with here. Okay, how we can check the start and end related example here. So the same I'm trying to write here. Here I'm having something like these are all the different strings I'm defining here. So using this particular strings, we'll try to identify the start with how it is going to work and as well as end with here. Now here I'm going to write s2 s2 dot start with. Now you can write the whether this particular string it start with this particular message or not. Now just we can compare this here. We can compare this particular information. Something like HE. Okay, we can compare like this. Whatever the string S2. S2 is nothing but this. So if this particular string it is starting with this particular HE, now what happens internally? It will try to return the boolean value. Now you can see the method return type it is a boolean. Okay, the method return type is a boolean, and so it is trying to returning it's coming available inside this particular string class. The method call start with it is trying to expecting one string prefix here. So prefix is nothing but first information like whatever the string we are going to write. So whatever the character or we can string we can call it as a first letters information. We'll call it as a prefix, and the suffix is nothing. It is trying to end the whatever the string we are going to write here. Okay, if this particular string end up with whatever we are going to give, again it will try to return the true value. Now if I'm going to write here if statement, within this statement if I'm going to write this particular start with, now what we can write here, so it is started with this particular HE. Now if I'm going to run this, now you'll get a now we are getting this. Now understand here, whatever you are writing here, it's trying to print here. So it's trying to print is nothing but what we need to understand, whatever the start with method we are writing, now it is trying to return the true value. Okay, it is trying to return this particular true value. So another important here, now observe carefully. So here I'm not writing any object here. So directly I'm trying to write the literal concept here. So now you can write. Now if you observe carefully, again I am trying to write this particular prefix here. If I'm going to write here, we can check this. We can check this. So now observe carefully what I am doing here. Here I'm trying to write this particular given string started with 4. Okay, whatever the string we are writing here, the string it is started with this particular 4. Now you can see, so both are returning as a true, and it is trying to print this particular statement. So now what we can do using this particular method, so just we can check if this particular string started with this particular 1 or 2 character, we can easily, so this particular statement will return true, otherwise it will not return here. So it will go for the false here. So along with this particular start with, now what we need to understand here, we have another method also. So this is the end with here, and where is the start with one more method. Now you can see this is the another method. So if you see below, this is the start with here. Okay, so this is the start with method we are calling, only it is expecting one parameter, something like a prefix. Now if you observe carefully internally it is calling one more method start with a prefix and 0. So what is a 0 basically here? If I'm going to show you this particular method, now you can understand here what is this particular to offset here. What exactly this particular to offset parameter will do? where to begin looking this particular string. So it is nothing but index here. Where to begin this particular string, we need to understand very carefully here. So now observe carefully. If you are trying to provide in this particular second parameter, so the particular parameter internally it is going to work as a string. Internally it is going to work as a string. Now what we need to understand, from the which index we want to check the given string. Getting the point? Which index we want to check the given string, we can provide the particular position information. So this is the start with method we are having, overloaded method. Okay. So for example, here I can write 1 year. Okay. Now we'll see what happens internally if I'm going to give 1. What happening internally? Only the FO, like F double O, the 4 it's returning true, but whatever this particular we modified, it is not satisfying here. Because, so here we given with the HE, and inside this particular HE, now I'm trying to start with 1 here. So now what happening internally? So this is wrong here. So basically, the first, it is not starting with the E. Okay, it is not starting with E. E is starting with the H here. Getting the point? So this is important, we need to check here. So by default, it will start with the 0 index location. But if we want to give any additional information, so we, like additional index information, you can use one more parameter. Okay. So we are having start with is the overloaded method. We discuss about the 2 methods, how it is working internally. So same way, we are having end with also. We are having end with. So how we can check this particular end with? So let me write this particular end with here. Same I'm trying to write here. The 4 bar. Now you can see if I'm going to write the suffix here. Earlier we discussed about the prefix. Now I'm trying to discuss about the suffix here. So what exactly the suffix we can write? The suffix we can write here something like a bar here. Something like a bar we can write here. Now you can see if I'm going to print this particular statement, it is ended with this particular bar here. Now if I'm going to print this, now it is matching, and whatever the ended statement we are having, it is trying to return this particular information here. Okay, so these are all the important method we need to understand, the start with and end with method. Okay, so any questions regarding this particular start and end with method? Okay. Now, what we can do, how we can identify the equals and double equals to operator here. So this is important here. We discuss about the equals method here, but we need to compare the how this particular double equals operator is going to work internally. So let's write the simple example to understand this particular equals operator as well. Let me write this here. What we need to write here? Here I'm going to write this particular statement to call hello and mm, so first we'll see. Now instead of doing this, now what I will do, I am going to comment out other we are having ch here. Okay, ch and s2 we can use it. So observe carefully what I am doing here. Again here I'm going to write the one more statement. Here I'm trying to write the one more statement here. Now you can see. So s1 equals s2, and here now what I'm doing here. Here I'm trying to write the same arrow operator what we used in the earlier example, and using this now I'm going to call s1 dot equals of this particular s2. Okay, S1 dot equals of this particular S2. And another one, now what I'm doing here, so here we need to understand very carefully, same the S1 I'm going to write here. Again, here I'm using the double equals operator, and here what I will do, I'm trying to write the S2. Okay, and here we need to make extra one more parenthesis here. So to understand this particular S1 equals to S2 here. Okay, S1 equals to S2. Now if we observe carefully how this particular last two statements are going to print. Here I'm trying to comment out this particular all the println statement here. Now I'm trying to print this whatever the two statements we define here. So Java, why I'm printing? Okay, this statement also I'm trying to print here. Let me comment out this. So now, if I'm going to run one more time, now you can easily understand here. So Java equals hello. Okay, Java equals hello. What happening internally? So this particular statement, it is returning false, and double equals operator also, now it is trying to return false here. Okay, this is important, we need to understand. So if we observe carefully, S2, what we are doing is, I'm trying to create a one hello. So using this particular S2, okay, what I will do, I'm trying to comment out this. Okay, I'm trying to comment out this, and what I will do, here, I'm going to write, instead of this particular CH, I'm making S2. Observe carefully. So S2 is an object I declare with this particular string literal concept, and whatever the object I'm having, so using this particular object, again, one more object I created. But here, what I'm doing is, I'm trying to creating with a new keyword. So observe carefully, both objects are same. S1, S2. Okay, S1, S2, both objects are same. Now if I'm going to run, now you can see equals method it is returning true, double equals operator it is returning false, even though both objects are same. Even though both objects are same. Now you can see hello equals to hello, and hello equals to hello. Getting the point. Now what we need to understand basically here we need to understand very important section called equals method. Basically it is trying to check the objects here. It is trying to check the what are the values we are having. For example, if I'm trying to put a breakpoint inside this, so this is basically our equals method. Now what I will do, here I'm going to print okay, here we have already breakpoints here. Now I'm going to run in the debug mode. I remove this equal ignore case, and here I'm putting a breakpoint here. Okay, so whenever I'm calling this, now you can see what is the another object I'm passing? Hello. Okay, what is the another object I'm passing here? Here something like hello I'm passing. Now, if we observe carefully, what is here S2 we are passing. S2 this is something like hello, and S1 also we are having same hello. Okay. Now, if I'm going to open this particular object here, now you can see this is a S2 object we are passing hello, and what is this basically here? This also we are having hello. This also we are having hello. Okay, both objects are we are having hello. Now, if I'm trying to check this, the double equals operator, what happens internally? Let me see. So you can see here, it is trying to returning false. Why this double equals operator returning false? Because, so we already discussed this example. One we created with help of this particular string literal concept. One we created with help of new keyword. So these are all the important section we need to understand. This is, we'll call it as a string pool. Okay. STP I'm writing here, it's something like a string pool. Inside the string pool, we are having one object called hello, and inside the this is, we will call it as a heap memory. Inside the heap memory, we are having one more object called hello. Okay, these two are having different references here. So this reference will contain at the rate 12924 something I'm giving, and this particular object will contain so something like 92124. So if you observe carefully, the references, both the references, it's not going to match here. Whatever we define here, both the references are not matched here. Because of that, the double equals operator basically, okay, the double equal operator basically, it will try to identify this particular numbers. So it should be same. Okay, it should be same here. Then only now it will try to return the true. Otherwise, it will try to return the false here. This is the purpose of this particular double equals operator. Basically, this is an operator. Equals is a method. Okay, so don't confuse here. So what we are trying to check internally, this equals method also it is trying to check the same double equals operator. Now we identified here, so it is trying to return the false here. Okay, once it is trying to return the false, now we are moving into next. Now you can see what exactly the condition is doing here. Now you can see true we are getting. We are getting true. So why we are getting true? Whatever the instance of keyword we are using and this particular object, it is having the type called this particular string only. Okay, whatever the object I am passing here, the object basically it is a type called string. Whenever it is string, now it is moving into the next line. We are converting, and if you observe, we are checking the coder method. Okay, we are checking this particular coder. So this particular coder will be same because object is same here. Okay, now you can say I'm unable to check this particular value, how this particular coder is working internally. So what you need to understand basically, even the evaluation must contain the expression. Okay, now if you observe carefully, for example, what is the value I'm going to get? So this is also not returning. Okay, maybe this will also will not get the result here. Okay, so because of this particular coder we cannot check what exactly happening internally, but this statement is now it is returning true. The statement now it is returns true. Once it is returns true, what happening internally, it is checking with this particular value. Yesterday we discussed this Latin or UTF format. So string internally, it is trying to check this particular two formats here. Okay, this is one of the important example we need to check how internally it is trying to print here. Okay, this is all about the equals method internally, and the another one basically it is a just a comparator. So like it is going to compare the values, left side value and the right side value. Left side value it needs to satisfy the reference variable with the right side value. Okay, this is all about the one of the important example called double equals operator. So this is the differences we identified here. For example, here I'm having S1. Now what I will do here, saying S6 here, something like S6 is equals to S1. Whatever I'm doing here, S6 is equals to S1. Here if I'm going to check with the S1 equals to S6 here, we'll identify what is the value we are going to get. Now you can see the last one, the last whatever the double equals operator we are using, now it is returning true. Why it is returning true? Getting the point. Why it is returning true? So if I'm going to print this, we'll get the same value. Okay. But what I did here I created one object using this particular new keyword, and the line number 63, I'm trying to clone this. Okay. I'm trying to clone this particular information here. So this is all about the one of the important example called references variable. Whatever the references variable we are having, now both the references variable are satisfied here. Okay, both the references variable are satisfied here. This is all about the another important section. Get in the word. This is all about the another important section called equals and double equals operator. So we discussed about the comparative method in the previous example. Now what exactly the comparative will do? Less than, greater than, and equals. So these are all the three values it is going to return, and the section we identified. Now you can see another important method we are having, index of and last index of method. Okay, index of and last index of method, how it is going to work internally. Now, if I'm going to comment out these two println statement here, we'll identify the index of and last index of. Now you can see index of is a overloaded method. Observe carefully. It is expecting int, it is expecting string, and it is expecting int comma from which index I want to copy. It is expecting and string. These are all the four overloaded method we are having. Whatever the index of method we are discussing here, so we are having around four overloaded method. This is important. We need to understand because this integer we can provide the particular string will return, or it is trying to return this integer only. Getting the point. Now you can see same way, if I'm trying to pass string also, it is trying to return the position, and if I'm trying to provide int comma two parameters into two parameters and another one string comma int here, based on this it is trying to return the all the string values, sorry, integer value. The return type is integer. So let me check this what happens internally. So s2 dot index of, s2 dot index of, for example, if I'm going to give 1, okay, if I'm going to give 1, what happens internally? I will print this particular statement here inside this particular println method. Okay, now if I'm going to run this, what is the statement we are getting? -1 we are getting. So why we are getting this particular -1 here? Okay, so this is very important. We need to understand. This is very important. We need to understand. If I'm going to open this particular index of method, now you can read where is the parameter. So here ch is a character. Okay, basically we can provide this ch is a character here. Now if we observe carefully, whatever the int we are providing here, whatever the int we are providing, this particular int internally it is trying to converting into as a character here. Okay, the index of the first occurrence of this particular character, it will return. Now what you understand is, whatever the int value we are providing, whatever the int value we are providing, this int value internally, it will try to convert it as a character, and it will try to look up the character. So how many times the character is repeated, based on that, it will return the first occurrence value. Okay, now, so because of this particular one, internally we don't have, it is returning -1. Okay, one value like the one character we don't have. So whatever the given string we are discussing S2 basically this is an hello. You can give the characters. Okay, you can give the character. If I'm going to give something like H here. Now you can see I'm not getting any error. Even though the parameter is expecting int here, we are able to give the happily this particular character value. Now, if I'm going to print this 0, I'm getting 0 because this particular H now it is in the 0 index location. So for example, if I'm going to give as a L, we'll identify the first occurrence here, something like 2. You can see 0 is a H index location, 1 is a E index location, and L is a second index location. This is one of the important example we need to understand here. Getting the point? This is very important example. We need to understand how this particular index of method is working. So first method we identified here. Now I'm trying to give this particular another method, like it is expecting string here. Okay, when it is expecting this particular string, now you can see again I'm getting 0. So we need to understand how it is returning internally. Okay, so if I'm going to open this method, now you can see directly we are passing this particular string. Okay, internally they are calling index of method. Based on this particular index of, this is the value. This particular value will contain the byte array. Now you can see this is the byte array. Okay, inside this byte array, it will try to find out this particular value. Okay, it will try to find out this particular value. If this value available inside this particular value, it will return the position. Okay, it is return the position. Now you can see returns the index within the this string of the first occurrence of the specified substring. Now what you understanding? Whatever this particular string we are providing, it will try to find out the first occurrence of the particular given string. Okay, and it will try to return the smallest value. So now you can see this is the substring of searching for. Now we'll see the how this particular index of method will work internally. Now you can see this is a byte array, and this also I'm trying to pass as a byte array. Basically, this byte array str will contain one value, but this value, like this particular byte array value, will contain more than how many we are having right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 5. Okay, 5 we are having. So the length basically, see basically, if we have a two values, for example, instead of this particular h, I'm having L here. Okay, and the last L I'm trying to remove. Now if you observe carefully, so what happening? First L it is occurring, and second L also it is occurring. Now if I'm going to give this L also a little like a small letter. Now if I'm going to make as a L here, if I'm going to make this particular L, what happens internally? It is returning 0. Why it is returning 0? Because it is trying to find out the first occurrence. Now, so this is only we need to understand. Now you can see they are providing the information. So here now you can read this. They are trying to find out the first occurrence value. Even though if you are trying to providing the multiple values like multiple characters in the given string, but whatever the first character it is going to satisfy, the first character it will return. So in that case, now if you see even in the 1, 2, 3. In the third index location, we are having again L, but it is returning 0 because the first occurrence it is started with this particular let. Because of this, it is trying to return here. Getting the one. Anything, whenever you are trying to work with this particular index of method, it will try to find out the first occurrence value. If the first occurrence value is satisfied, it will return the value. Okay, this is we need to understand very carefully. Getting the point. This is the index of the purpose of this particular index of. Now what I understand, we discuss about the integer related method, and the second one we discuss about the string related method. Now we have another methods. Okay, I can provide the string and I can provide the occurrence here. I can provide this particular occurrence. If I'm going to open this method, now you need to read this here. So this is important we need to understand. I'm providing the string value and I'm providing from which index we want to check here. Now you can read this, the index from which start the search here. From which index onwards we want to start the search value. So this is indicating the integer. Like if you are giving the 10, it will try to start the from the 10 index location. Okay, it will try to start this particular h in from the 10 index location. But right now we don't have a 10 index location value. So most of the cases we are not going to use this because it will start from the 0 only. We need to search the particular given string from the 0 index onwards. So by default, whatever the earlier method we discussed here, this method will start internally same from the 0 index location. But if we want to give explicitly, if we want to provide the explicitly, we can call the another index of method which is expecting something like a two parameter. First one is a string, second one is a from index. Okay, same way we have another method also. Okay, what is another method we are having? So that we discussed in the last session. Like now you can see we discussed like a string we discussed here. The last one we discussed a string comma int from which index. Now you can see same way we are having one more method int comma int. The first parameter int internally it will convert as a character. Second one from which index onward we want to check we can use here. Now you can see the character we can provide here, and from which index onwards we want to search we can provide the indexes information. For example, the character I am trying to give Okay, the character I'm giving as a something like L I'm giving, and the index I want to search from the 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, I want to search from this particular 3 index location. Whenever I'm trying to write this, what happening internally? Now, the third index location only we are having the value. The particular value it is returning here. Okay, now you can see we are getting 3. So earlier, if I'm going to give as a L, for example, if I'm not giving this particular second parameter, if I'm trying to run this with a single parameter, now you can see I'm getting 2. I'm getting 2. Okay, if I'm going to provide explicit the indexes information, now I'm getting as a 3. Getting the point. So this is a way of providing the indexes value. It's like whenever we are providing this particular explicitly index value, now it will try to search the search the given string or the given character from the specified index onwards here. Okay, this is one of the important method we are discussing, index of, because in the real time also we are going to use this particular index of method for the multiple times here. Okay, for the multiple times we are going to use. And another important method we need to understand, last index of. The last index of method, internally it will try to return the last occurrence of the given character. For example, the same L value I'm going to check here. The same L value I'm going to check here. Now you can see last index also we are having same here. Now you can read this. So it is trying to have the 4 overloaded method. The last index of we are having 4 overloaded method. First one is expecting character. Second one is expecting string. And the remaining 2 is expecting some additional 2 parameters. Okay. Character with from index, string with from index. Now what I will do, if I'm going to give so simple value, I will remove this. I will remove this also. Now you can see this is the last occurrence of this particular given value. Now that we are getting as a 3. Now you can see even though if I'm not providing the additional parameter, now it will try to returning the last occurrence. And earlier we discussed about the first occurrence. Okay. Now we are discussing about the last occurrence here. Now if I'm going to open this method, now you can understand here. Here it will provide the last occurrence. Okay, this method will return the last occurrence of the given character. This is all about the last index of method. Okay, so I don't want to discuss the remaining method because we already identified the index of method, how it is working internally. Same way, it will try to work on the last occurrence. But only the difference here, we can have the same additional parameter in the last index also. We can give the index location. From that, it will try to start the search operations here. Okay, these are all the index of as well as the last index of methods here. Now, another important information what we need to understand here, modifying a string here. This is very important string. This is, we'll call it as a substring. So basically, if I want to modify string from the given characters to given length here, it will try to create the new string here. Okay, it will try to create a new string. Now what I will do, here I'm going to comment out this particular entire strings here. So this is also I'm going to comment out here. Now here what I'm doing is I'm trying to create a string replace here. Now let me write the string I'm trying to define. So org, this is the variable I'm trying to write here. This is a test. Okay, and this is 2. Some message I want to write. Now if you observe carefully, this is something like a string I am giving. Okay, using this particular string, now what I'm doing is I'm trying to use a substring here. Substring is also internally overloaded method. Substring is also internally overloaded method. Now for example, now what I will do, if I'm going to provide this, org dot substring. Now you can see here what we need to understand here. Substring, as I explained here, it is expecting overloaded method. First one is expecting one parameter. Second substring is expecting two parameter. For first one, if you specify the which index onwards we want to copy from the from the specified index location to, it will try to copy the all the end of the values. It will try to copy the all the end of the values. But now what we need to understand, the second one, given the range, between the range only we are going to copy the all the values here. Okay, this is the another important the substring method we are having. First we'll see this. So I'm going to give around something like what is the range we can give. I'm giving 10. This is the 10 index location. From this particular 10 index location, it will try to copy this particular value. Now, if I'm going to print this particular given substring, okay, given substring here. Now you can see, so test dot test is 2. Now what you understand here? So it is started with this particular location. So from this particular location, it is started and it is copied this particular value. Okay. So this is the original string basically. This is the original string. Now what I did, from this particular original string, I copied between the whatever the information I required here. So how I am copying here? So this is nothing but I'm giving the specified index location. Now the specified index location is copied up to the end here. So this is the end of the value. So up to dot, it is trying to copy it here. Okay, this is the one method we are having, substring. It is trying to copy the from the specific index onwards end of the string. And another one, for example, if I'm going to give as a 6 6 to something like a 21. If I'm going to give 6 to 21, if we are having 21 indexes, it will copy, otherwise it will try to throw an error. Okay, now we are having the 21 indexes here. So now you can see this is the another string. So s space s a and space test dot space and this. Again we are having on space. Everything it is going to calculate. Even space for each space we are going to allocate it one index location. So this is very important. We need to understand. Now you can see. So this is the way this particular like a string array internally it is going to create here. Okay, now what you need to understand here, first one we are going to provide as a t, and the second one h, third one I, second last one 4. So this is for space purpose. Okay, and this is I, yes, one more space. So if you add like this, it will try to increase the particular indexes. Now you can see 0 1 2 3, the space for 4, and 5, I, 6, one more space for 7. Okay, each space also it is going to store in a one index location. So because of this only we are getting between the spaces. You can see we are getting space, here we are getting space, and here also we are getting the space, and finally we are getting the space here. Okay, in the console you can see how this particular object is copied here. Okay, this is the range I given. So within this particular range, whatever the character we are having, all the characters are copied here. All the characters are copied here from this particular sixth index location. Now it is copied around 21. Okay, this is the substring method. This is very important method because this method also we are going to use multiple places in the real-time application. So index of substring, most of the cases will use this particular method. Okay, now after this, so concat method. Concat method, what exactly it will do? Okay, this is the another important method. We need to understand the concat method. Now observe carefully using this particular concat. Now if you observe carefully, so concat internally it is trying to expecting string here. Whenever I'm adding this particular string, so just I want to add same concat only. Okay. So same, whatever the concat, the method we are having, using this particular concat method, again I'm trying to add, getting the point. Concat is a string. So for example, if I'm going to print this, if I'm going to print this internally, what happens, we need to understand here. Now you can see this is a test. Okay, this is the test we are having because I'm trying to print original string, and this is the 2, and after this it is trying to add it with one one more string. Where we added this, here we added the concat here. Now what you understand here, it is trying to add the end of the existing string. Okay, it is trying to add the end of the existing string. Now you can see again I'm trying to call here. One more concat I'm adding. Now you can see how it is working internally. So you can read this. First concat we added using this particular concat method. The second concat we added using this particular concat method. Okay, finally the concat method internally, it is returning string. Okay, it is returning string and it is expecting string also. So if I'm going to open this internally, what exactly it is doing it? So they are copying. Okay, so first it is copying up to the all the information whatever we are having existing string. So based on this particular existing string, now it will try to provide this particular str. Okay, now you can see what they are doing internally. Now you can understand here they are checking the coder. So once the coder is identified, they are trying to find out the value. Say they are trying to load the this particular length here. So this is the new length basically. Now you can see this is the original like existing string, and this is we added with help of this particular concat method. Now you can see here str is a variable we are passing to this particular method. Okay, based on this particular str we are calling the value, and this particular value something we added as a over while, and we are loading the length, and this length and this length we are doing the addition operation. So once you do the addition operation, we'll get this particular final result. So once we get this particular final result, now what I'm doing is I'm copying here. Okay, value and the length. What is the value we're having? So this is the value I'm providing. So this is the something like a existing object. The value we are providing and the length, new length basically. So once I get this particular buffer, now what I'm doing is again I'm trying to copy this. Now you can see v value, so 0 index location, buffer, and this is the length I'm passing. So once I copy this, we are trying to create a new string object. Okay, we are trying to create this particular new string object. Basically, it will not affected into the existing string. If I'm trying to return this particular existing string, it will not affected here because that what we are doing it, we are creating a new string and we are trying to copy this. Okay, this is very important information we need to understand here. This is the way of calling the internally the concat method. Okay, now you can see how this concat method we identified here, and every time this particular concat is going to appended end of the existing string, end of the existing. If I want to add before, what we can do here, we can provide the substring. Substring is the best method. It will try to add in the first given this particular string. Okay, so we cannot use this particular concat method to add the first index because it is not having overloaded method. It is only one method defined inside this particular string class. Okay, something like just we are adding another string end of this particular existing string here. So this is the purpose of this particular concat method. And we have a replace method. How this particular replace method it is going to work. Now we need to understand about the replace method. So to find out this particular replace method, we need to call the org dot replace here. Now observe carefully. It is trying to find out the replace first, replace and replace all. So here we are having, you can replace the character, you can replace the string, or you can replace the first related information, whatever the character, like whatever the string we are going to have, the given string. Now if we try to replace it with the replacement string here. Okay, this is we need to understand very carefully. First we'll identify the character. Now we'll see old character. The old character basically I want to replace with the T. So T is our old character. I want to replace with A. Okay, I want to replace with particular A. Now, what is the method? Like, what is the return type of this particular replace? Internally, it is trying to do the string here. Okay, if you see, if I'm call this particular replace method internally, they are calling the string Latin. If I'm going to use this particular replace method, so observe carefully. Now, every time if you see, they are creating the new string object. Getting the point? Every time any method, whatever the method is trying to return the string, they are creating this particular new string object. Okay, here also now you can see, here also you can see for the Latin purpose and for the UTF purpose. So this is the way of converting the particular string. But what we need to understand, even after modifying, if ever whatever we are modifying something, once we modified this, what happening internally, it is trying to returning new string objects to reflect the latest changes. Okay, to get this particular latest changes internally, we are trying to create a new string and we are trying to modify whatever the information we are having. Okay, so if I'm going to print this, now you can see if I'm going to run this example, so this is, so whatever the this we provided, the this is replaced with A. So in place of T, now it is replaced with A, and in place of T, now it is replaced with this particular A. But here, what we need to understand, capital letters, small letters is very important because the ASCII value is going to modify. Getting the point? For capital A, we are having 65. Small a, it's going to start with the 97. So now you can understand. Okay. So once you modified this, what you need to understand here, it is trying to replacing the whatever the character we are providing. Now we'll understand the string related information. Okay. Now we'll understand the string related information from where we can see this. Getting the point? From where we need to copy this. Again, I want to copy this particular this with replacement here. Now, what you need to understand here, what we can write here, something like a replace. I want to add as a replace here. Now you can see whenever I'm calling this, now wherever we are using this particular replace here, so wherever we are using this particular this, now it is replaced with the replace string here. Now you can see replace, this is a test, and replace is true. Okay, now you can see replace is a test and replace is true. Okay, so this is the another important method. The earlier we discussed about the character, now we are discussing about the string related information. Okay, so you can give the particular string. Now entire string is going to replace it. If you are not interested for this particular string related, you can provide the character related information. Okay, so this is all about the one of the important example we need to understand here. Any questions here regarding this particular whatever the method we are discussing, like index of method, substring method, concat method, and replace method? Any questions? Okay, so now if we don't have, what I will do here, I'm going to write the trim method. So this is another important method we are discussing, trim. What exactly this particular trim will do? Now here if you observe, the first I'm giving the some space and the last also I'm giving some space. Okay, so here I've given two spaces here, first and last here. Getting the point. Now what you need to understand here, using this particular trim, using this particular trim, org dot trim I'm calling. Whenever I'm calling this particular trim, so try to understand very carefully. So what exactly we are doing here. So whatever the spaces we are having, the spaces are removed here. The spaces are removed here. Okay. Now we'll understand here what exactly this particular trim method is doing. Getting the point? It is trying to remove the before the string and after the string. Okay. So what you need to understand basically, before before this particular given string, whatever the spaces we are having, and after this particular string, whatever the spaces we are having, all the spaces are going to removed by this particular trim method. Okay. This is important. We need to understand here. Getting the point? This is important. We need to understand. But between this particular string, these spaces are not going to remove. Okay. These spaces as it is, it will contain same thing. Now you can see we are having between this particular two strings here, whatever the spaces we are having, it is coming as it is, but only the before and after, whatever the spaces we are having, so this particular spaces are going to remove here. Okay, this is all about the one of the important method called trim method. Now we discuss about the another important method called value of method in the last class. The value of method, whatever the data type we are going to pass, it will try to convert it into the string type. Okay, and finally we are having another important method, something like I'm going to call org dot to lowercase. Okay, to lowercase I'm calling. So whenever I'm trying to provide in this particular to lowercase here, if you observe carefully what happening internally, everything, the given string, it is trying to convert it into the two lowercase. Now you can see here we are having the space and here also we are having the space, because we are not calling the trim method, just we are calling the two lowercase method. So the lowercase method, whatever the characters we are available in like in the uppercase, all the characters are now converted into the lowercase here. Okay, so this is important, we need to understand here. Now you can see this is one of the important example we need to understand. So finally, now what I'm doing here, uh, and another method we are having, so I'm going to call the another method something like to uppercase. To uppercase here. Okay. Now you can see this is the same thing. Now it is converted into the uppercase here. So another one, it is now converted into the lowercase. So this statement is now it is converted into the uppercase here. Okay. So this is the two methods we are having inside this particular string class if I want to convert uppercase or lowercase here. Okay, so these are all about the string related example here. So whatever the example we are having, all the method we identified inside this particular example. Okay, any questions regarding this particular string class? Okay, so tomorrow we'll try to discuss about the one of the important example called string buffer, and so string buffer also it is having some specific method. We'll identify the specific method and later we'll try to come up with a string builder. Once we completed here, we'll try to discuss about the collection related examples here. Okay, so this is one of the important section we are going to discuss in the tomorrow also. We'll continue. the same concept tomorrow as well.